Okay, let's unpack this then. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into some source material, looking at those really tough moments, when you feel someone has just fundamentally wronged you. Could be betrayal, maybe a deep insult, or perhaps they just completely fail to value you, your love. And the advice we found in these sources, well, it's pretty counterintuitive, very different from how many of us might usually react.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when we're hurt like that, the instinct is often confrontation, isn't it? You want to be heard, explain the pain, maybe fight back, get an apology even. But this core idea here, it's radically different. It talks about silent departure,
Hmm.
basically becoming invisible to the person who caused the hurt.
Invisible. Wow. That feels like a really extreme step. The source actually lists specific situations where it says, silence is the best path.
Yeah.
It suggests, okay, if you've been betrayed, stay silent. Someone's causing you active pain. Don't engage. Remain silent. If someone totally failed to value your love, again, the advice is silent.
And it doesn't stop there. The list goes on. If you've been greatly insulted, or if someone has deceived you, even if you're being falsely accused, across all these really painful, deeply personal experiences, the instruction from the source is consistent. Complete silence. Withdrawal.
Right. It really flies in the face of all the standard advice, doesn't it?
Mhm.
About, communication, setting boundaries, expressing how you feel. So what's the rationale here, according to the source, I mean? Why silence? Why is that presented as the powerful option in these high-stakes situations?
Yeah, what's fascinating is how the source connects the silence to your internal state and the outcome for everyone involved. The action itself is stark. It says become so silent, so invisible that the person literally never hears your voice or sees your shadow again. And crucially, it stresses making a promise, a really solemn promise to yourself that you will never look back.
A promise to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the source implies that keeping that promise is actually the key to avoiding more pain down the line.
Yes, exactly. That seems to be a critical piece of the message here. It does acknowledge how hard it is. It says this silence might feel like it's choking you at first. With unspoken cries, unspoken words, the pain is still there, absolutely just turned inward. But, and this is a strong claim, the source asserts that this very silence, this complete disappearing act, will eventually leave the other person feeling regret.
Okay, so you might struggle internally, at least initially, but they end up with regret. It sounds like it's framed as a kind of strategic, emotional play. But still, the question remains, why not speak up? Why not defend yourself, or at least explain the hurt they caused?
Right. And this is where the source offers a really sharp insight, I think. It argues that the reason people do protest, why they argue or plead or explain, it's fundamentally because they fear losing something. They're afraid of losing the relationship, maybe losing face, losing control, or, losing that chance to be understood or validated by the other person.
Ah, okay. So the protests, the words, they come from a place of fear.
Right.
Fear and attachment to, well, to an outcome or to the person themselves.
Precisely. And then the source delivers its counter argument, its sort of punchline. It says that those people, the ones capable of betraying you or causing such pain or failing to value you like that, in the source's view, they were never truly yours to begin with.
Wow. Okay, that completely flips the perspective, doesn't it? If you were never really yours in an authentic way, then there's nothing real to fear losing by letting go. It removes the object of that fear.
Exactly. And this profound reframing, it leads straight into the source's concluding advice. If your energy isn't tied up in fearing loss or trying to extract something validation, regret from that other person, where should it go? The source says, redirect it inward. Live for yourself, love yourself.
So it shifts the focus entirely, away from the person who caused the pain and onto your own well-being, your own value. And it also seems to offer an outlet for those unspoken cries you mentioned earlier, that internal pressure. The source talks about telling your sorrows, your pains, desires, hopes, telling them to a creator, someone who it suggests will take care of everything.
Yes, it provides that space, doesn't it, for processing the internal weight when you've deliberately shut down the external communication channel with that person. It's suggesting a path for healing that, importantly, doesn't involve the person who inflicted the wound in the first place.
Right. So pulling this all together, if this source material is right, if our instinct to protest with words really springs from that fear of losing something or someone, then what does choosing complete decisive silence and departure, just walking away and becoming invisible, as the source recommends, what does that signify about what you truly value in that moment?
That's it. That's a powerful question the source kind of leaves us chewing on.